You'll need this bit. Hello and welcome to the GhostÉire Channel. How you doing? My name's Anthony Kerrigan, and tonight we're talking to Eugene Doran from Afterlife Paranormal Ireland. Eugene is joining us on the show. We'll be talking about 3 topics of linked to the paranormal: the afterlife, visitations, and people's perceptions of paranormal investigators. An interesting topic indeed, which probably affects everyone, those that believe and don't believe, and those who are investigators or not. So we'll be talking about that tonight. Also, we have a poll, folks. The results are in. We'll be revealing it halfway through the show. We asked the question, do you frequently remember dreams after awakening? Do you recall them after 2 minutes almost every day? And it was 3 options: yes, occasionally, only sometimes, or never. So we were revealing the results there, and you might be wanting to listen to this tonight though, because especially with the hot weather, dreaming can be happening a lot or not. I don't know. I'll come to you there later with it. Also, we have the quiz where you have a chance to enter our Halloween mega draw and mini draw. You have an extra chance now going into the Halloween mega draw. We're giving you that option as well, double the chances. Also, we have, if you like to see what's happening up with future shows or past shows, you can go to our website, www.ghostére.net. Go to the homepage, press the red button called GhostÉire Channel. You'll be able to see what's happening in the future, all the past shows as well. If you'd like to contact us, you can go to our website, www.ghostére.net, go to the contact page, fill in the blanks. If you have a private message, just put in brackets private message, and we'll give a shout out to you there on the next show there if you have any questions. Also, just follow this link in. If you have any questions tonight for Eugene, feel free to put them forward as well. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Eugene. Hi, Eugene, can you hear me?
I can indeed, yes.
How are you doing, Eugene, there? And it's great to see you there. We're just going to come to a few shout outs before we start there. Siobhan Gallagher says hi. Hi, Siobhan. How are you doing? Lisanna Maria says hi. Hi, all. Hi, Lisanna. Paul O'Brien says hi, guys. Hi, Paul. How you doing, Paul? Kathy Houston from Soul to Soul Paranormal and Light Sisters says hi. How you doing, Kat?
Hello, Kate.
Mary Kate Barry. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Mary Kate. Long time no hear, or text or print, whatever you call it. Bridget Burt from Seekers of the Afterlife says hi, guys. And Brian McMahon from Belfast Paranormal Investigators says hi, guys. Hi, Brian. Hi, Bridget. And hi, everyone there. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello, everybody.
So first of all, I'm going to talk about the afterlife and something that everyone is really concerned about these days there. First of all, there, Eugene, can you tell us what is your thoughts on the afterlife?
My thoughts on the afterlife, I have 3 or 4 different ideas on it. One may be a little crazy to some people, but I do believe there is something. Our bodies are just a vessel here, and our consciousness carries on after we die. They say we come back 7 times, and I would believe that. I don't think that we can spend our time on Earth for maybe the average of 80 to 90 years, and we have kids, we have family, wives, brothers, sisters, whatever. We die and that's it. Just to me, it seems a waste of time for that just to be the end. So I think I spoke to 2 mediums, one in America and one here that I've met over the years, and both of them have told me I'm a young soul. So both of them, one in Ireland, one in America, and it's just maybe it's coincidence, but they both said it was on my second life. The first medium here in Ireland didn't say what my previous life was, but the medium in America told me that I was born in the 30s in Germany, and I was killed in World War II in France, but that I was a doctor in my previous life. Now, I have a few scars on my body, so I think are they scars that have developed from maybe I was killed by shrapnel or something like that. That's one version I have. The second version, I think, is every time we come back, we learn more. So we become more intelligent, because I think we're all vibrating. Everything in the world vibrates, the universe. Animals vibrate, trees. I think that when we die, we're instantly born again into another body, because I don't think that we were born as children. Say children in maybe Africa don't have the chance to have a full life. Maybe they die when they're 2 or 3 years old. That doesn't seem fair to me. I think everyone should be given a second chance, a third chance to grow, grow old, learn, develop into whatever our next personality is going to be.
So would you believe in reincarnation there, Eugene? Would you believe in reincarnation?
I do. I'm a firm believer in reincarnation. I don't believe that humanists reckon we live till we're 80 and then we just die. That's it. We turn to dust. I can't accept that. I have to believe there is something there. I don't think when we die that we actually go to a different realm. I don't think there's any pearly gates that we go to. I think we just come back, learn as much as we can, and we develop our spirit. And eventually, after the 7 lives, maybe we're born somewhere else in the universe, and the whole cycle of 7 years starts again. But we're more knowledgeable all the time.
It's a really interesting there. And so say if you committed a crime in a previous life, or say it's whatever crimes can be, like crimes that have changed over the centuries and all that, can you atone for them in the afterlife, do you reckon? Would you get less lives?
No, I think you'd be given more lives to make amends for something that you may have done. Like in one of my other things in the afterlife is, if we're not reborn, does afterlife mean, we say the ancient Egyptians, they mummify themselves, they mummified their cats, their dogs. Sometimes people would volunteer to be buried with them. Not like you see in the movies, everyone's putting the pyramid and it's covered in sand. Not like that at all. And I think is the pyramids are the temples, and there, as we seen a few months ago, the parade of pharaohs and the queens. Is that what the afterlife is? Because they wanted to have an afterlife, and maybe this is what their afterlife is. So maybe you don't, maybe they don't go anywhere, but their legacy lives on and on and on, because we know that in 1,000 years' time, they'll be still talking about the Egyptian mummies.
True. Yeah. What is an afterlife, or before life, or medium life? But I was going to say now, this might be something. This is not to do with yourself or myself there, but I'll carry on with the question. The first few words might be different. Okay. Sexual relations. Wait, that was going to peak up. Sexual relations, about people viewing. Sexual relations, alcohol, and other stimulants are needed in the afterlife, as in spiritual wise. Do you reckon so?
No, I don't think it's anything like that. I think the people that we're with now in our lives, our family, that when we're reborn, we die and are reborn. I think we're reborn back into the same family. And that's why we have, say, for instance, my grandfather died and my brother had a son, and they say, oh my God, he's the image of his grandfather. So are we just reborn with the same people all the time? And that's, I do believe that's what it is. And the people we meet in life are the same people we meet in the next life.
Okay. Yeah. So, I suppose when we come to like I was just saying beforehand there, about spirits, like from like psychic mediums that tend to, or investigators, we're all prone to it. We all seem to connect in with spirits from about 1300s up to about 50 years ago. It's all to do with 1300s up to about 1960s. Yeah. Is it what? Do you know why it's that? Are people more common in reincarnation to come back as a person and well known in history, or well known in a period of history, like an Egyptian? You won't come back as somebody like from Samoa or Fiji or a country like that. Is it necessarily a well known person? People will come back, or a well known piece of history? To your belief?
And no, my belief, it doesn't matter how important you are in a previous life. I think we could always be better than we were. I think, but as I said before, I think a lot could be in our DNA as well. I spoke to people about this, and it's if I had my grandfather, his great grandfather died maybe say 300 years ago. Is his lasting afterlife, is it in his DNA? It's traveled through his son, through my grandfather, into my mother, into me. Is that, and I just wonder, is that the legacy of afterlife? Is that our DNA? Is it that why some children, for instance, Val is an example of it. We went to see a medium, and her great grandmother was French. And I don't know whether you know this woman, Anthony, or any of the viewers. They call her the White Witch of Cove. And we went, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Val went to see her, must be 15 years ago. And obviously she knew nothing about Val. And while she draws, as she's speaking to you, she draws. So she drew a leg and a horse, and she told Val that in a previous life, about 1883, that she had been on a horse out riding, but the horse stumbled, fell out, she fell over and landed on her leg, and she eventually lost her leg. And then over the couple of months, she had blood poisoning or whatever, and she was 27 years of age when she died. And it was strange that she was able to pick that up. And yeah, Val's great-grandmother was French, which she wouldn't have known. So, you know, that was very interesting.
That's interesting. That was a great-grandmother or grandmother?
Great-grandmother.
Was French? Great-grandmother. We're all connected. We were all sort of created in our grandmothers on our mother's side, in her eggs. I know this is still completely a different subject there, but that's when we started. That's when we began, because obviously the mother's mother, her egg, to perform whatever she needed to do in the future, a certain amount of eggs. We would come from that, the third generation down. Like, so we were over about 100 years old. Well, I'm about only 20, so I got young. My mother's very young. But yeah, so we're talking about afterlife now as well. So folks, if you have any questions, I do have one more question for you there, Eugene. I'm just going to go for a few shout outs because a few people are connecting in there as well there. Carl Daly says, hi guys. Hi Carl.
Hi, Carl.
How you doing, bro? Hope you keeping well. Lisanna Maria says hi, Eugene, as
Lisa.
well. Kathy says, I totally agree with you, with your views, Eugene. Lisa. Hi, Lisa. It's Lisa Orchard from Dark Skies Paranormal. Hope you're all good up the top there. She says hi. Lisanna says, I agree with you. Carol says, what does everyone think of the app Negrophonic Ghost Spirit Box? I have it and think it's good. Do you want to answer that, Eugene? Do you use it?
I don't really use spirit boxes very often. But for me, most of my investigations, a lot of it is the feelings I have. I can go somewhere, say, I'll just throw in somewhere like Sharon Rectory. I was there. I've been lucky enough to have investigated that twice. So I'll just give a quick shout out to Emma and Ways, her mum Lisa, and her sister Victoria. And it's a wonderful home that they let us investigate. But I was there and I went up the stairs. They gave us a tour of the house, and I went up the stairs near the captain's room. But as I got outside, I actually started wobbling from side to side. And he asked me, was I okay, because I'd gone white? And I said, I feel like I'm on a ship. But at that stage, I didn't know anything about the captain who sailed the ships around there. And I went outside to where the trees are, the trees on the ferry mound there. And my cousin slags me and calls me a tree hugger. But I actually put my hands on the tree there, and I could feel something vibrating. And as I stood back from the tree, I could see this shape in the tree, and it looked slightly like a dragon. I could see the nostrils, I could see the eye, but half the face was covered. And later on in the investigation that night, we actually had a photograph, and in the doorway you could see this kind of exactly as I had explained, like a dragon's face, but we could only see half it that night. Yeah.
So you don't use a ghost spirit box?
Yeah, I think they're open.
No, that's all Carl wanted to know.
Picking up signals. No, for me, it's just the art. Like, it can be, what's the word? It's just intuition is my thing. But with spirit boxes, I just find that the frequency could pick up radio stations. Where I'm not saying they don't work, because I'm open to everything. It's just I find that if people are in a room and we use a spirit box, we always say we have to agree that we've heard the same word. So and it comes back, yes, I am. Well, I have to have heard it, Val has to have heard it, and a member of the public have had to hear. If someone says to us, oh, they did say Henry VIII, we would say, well, I didn't hear that. Did anyone else know? So we would debunk it. And I hate that word debunk, because we're all going the same direction, but we're taking different paths. And that's what I always say. Some people like that. I just like, for me, it's video evidence, intuition, and a voice recorder is essential.
Like you corroborate with the rest of the team members, see if you heard the same sounds as well, which is great there. I suppose, Carl, it depends, I suppose, on like an app probably is different, like software is different to like an actual hardware device, but like a spirit box or ghost box, or I forget the terms, the shack hat, radio shack hat. But it's, I suppose, the app, they use algorithms, and I suppose they use like wherever you've been, like if you've been looking up places where you've been, or looking up history of a location, they'll go by that and they'll put relevant messages through the app there. It's a nice way of doing it, but it's a devious way of doing it sometimes there. And I know people think it works well, but they're actually picking up where you've been, or what you've eaten, or where you've gone to, that location, like apps. But but then again, some of these things can help and enhance the type of investigation, and even calling out, it's a graveyard. If you call out, it said graveyard, and it said cemetery or buried body there, that might link the spirits to come in anyway, because you mentioned it, the talk recognition, the brainwaves get active when they hear that familiar words. Joanne Breen from Seekers of the Afterlife says, good evening, or hope you're all well. Stacey Moran says, haven't tried it. I think that's to do with the app there, which Carl mentioned. Stacey says, Eugene, okay, well, I have a bad life in this life. Is it because I was bad in a past life? Would you like to answer that, Eugene?
Sorry, what was that question again, Andy?
I think Stacey's asking there. She thinks she's having a bad life in this life. There, is it because I was bad in the previous life? I suppose what I probably would answer to that, Stacey, there, what people think that you've done bad, like as I mentioned, crimes and all that, crimes committed years ago, and were probably like for petty crimes, which I'll mention now, probably weren't as bad now as we see it these days. Whatever we see in the future might not as bad. What we see these days, the crimes now recorded these days might not be reported as crimes in the future, or what is good and bad. Do you want to answer that, Eugene?
No, I don't think if we were bad in our last life that we're punished in the next life. I think we're actually given a chance to atone. I suppose an example, a really, really bad example would be, say, Adolf Hitler, for a start. Well, he did, but is he not entitled to come back and make amends in some other way, maybe come back as a charity workers or something like that? But I don't think it doesn't matter who we are. If we're bad in our last life, I think we are given the chance to atone for our mistakes. I don't think that. Sorry.
Go ahead, Eugene. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think we can be defined on one life. I think it's over time. What I probably would say is, they say that we are reborn 7 times, but maybe someone like him needs to be born twice the amount, 15 times, to actually atone for what they have done. But I suppose it's like a criminal. Some criminals, they go to prison, they come out and they keep offending. Other prisoners go to prison and then realise what they've done. They come out, get involved in charity, get more involved with social work, you know, help drug addicts. Say, for instance, somebody that may have been on drugs ends up in prison, comes out of prison, has got himself sorted, and then he joins some sort of social group where they bring young people in, try to steer them away from drugs or alcohol or whatever their addiction may be.
Okay. So Sharon says, hi, Eugene.
Hi.
So we'll go. Hi, Sharon. How you doing? Kathy says, we carry on from our ancestors, their traits, wisdom, and unfinished business. There. That's Kathy's opinion. That's great, Kathy. There.
Okay.
Nikki Doran says, hello from your little sis. Love you.
Hi, Nicola.
I never knew her. I never knew I had a younger sister. I know it's you there, Eugene. Intuition is your best guide on an investigation. That's Kathy there. She says that. Emma Louise from Soul to Soul Paranormal also says, hello, Anthony and Eugene. And Joanne from Seekers of the Afterlife says, fancy equipment is well and good, but your senses and intuition never seem to let us down. Yes, the best gadget you've got is your own senses, and you know, everyone with parapsychology would agree with that. That's the best sort of we go by experiences as well, which is one of the main things. If we didn't, we can't really go by equipment solely there. I'm suffering in this life. Is it because I was evil in the past? There, that's what Stacey says. Stacey there, I suppose. It's suffering. I hope if there's anybody you need to talk to, you can come and talk to us at the end of the show. Myself there, I suppose it's hard if you feel any suffering there. Please let people know. Please do call related to myself there or to anybody there that you need. What would you say to that, Eugene?
Sometimes I suppose myself, I felt like that sometimes. If anyone's going through a bad period in their life, we always question, is it something I've done in previous life that I'm going through such a hard time now? But always look at the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say, because things won't always be bad. There's always somebody out there to help you. So don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's loads of people that will help you. And we've had one or two people that have contacted us privately, and we have helped them out. They've had issues in their life that it's the same thing. They thought they were suffering because of something they done in the previous life or something they done earlier on in their life. So we have put them in touch with the right people to help them out, and some of them come back to us and said, thanks very much for your help. And that's it. So all I'd say to people that feel like that is seek help. It's not everything isn't supernatural or paranormal. We do all go through a time in our lives that when we doubt everything, but there's always somebody to talk to.
And Stacey, I would probably just add to that. Now, you can't claim to yourself that you've had a bad person and all that. Now, only society in time would tell that, and people in the future would tell that. People who were hungry years ago there and were transported for just needing food and all that there. And it depends on the people that you're around as well, and that's the main social circle that you're around as well. But if you reach out to people that are probably more that you think that are going to help you there, but help you in a positive way, that you see in the future that you are going to be helped, you see a positive outcome, then go to those people there. Joanne says, I personally think every human makes mistakes in each of their lifetimes, and from that life lessons are moved to the next life to be learned and raise us to our highest vibration. That's what Joanne says there. Stacey says, thank you guys there. No worries there, Stacey. So we're going to go on to the quiz there. And so I want the first person to type this word. The first person to type this word will have a chance to go into our quiz later on there. Chance to go into Halloween mega draw and mini draw. So the first person, I'm looking for the word behind me, and it's called dream. D-R-E-A-M. I want the first person to type the word dream, and you're in a chance to go into the quiz later on. Well, it's not a quiz, it's just to pick out a location there. But you're in a chance to go into a Halloween mega draw to win prizes towards Halloween. Dream. Oh, they all come in, all the comments there. I know. And Holly, Doran, you're the first one. So Holly, stay tuned. Stay tuned to the show because we'll be asking you. She must be related. She was ready there. she related
she
to
is
you
actually.
there.
She's my daughter.
There you go. There you go. See, there's the time lapse thing there. You know, that's actually come in handy for yourself. Holly,
And
stay
just
tuned
for
there. We're going
everyone
to
to
ask
know,
you.
I didn't know the answer.
No, you didn't know the answer. Everyone, folks, no one knows the answer. Only me there, like, you know. Now, Eugene, can you tell us, we have a, we'll come back to that. Just stay tuned there, Holly. So the next subject now we're going to be talking about is, well, first of all, actually, we're going to go to the poll there and the results of the poll. So we asked you about dreams, folks. And the question was, do you frequently remember dreams after awakening? If you recall them after 2 minutes, almost every day. And here the answer is the results. We're just going to show it here. They're the results. I'm going to ask Eugene for your opinion as well. 75.0 said yes, I do, and 25.0 says occasionally, only sometimes. Nobody actually commented that he never. Some people do have dreams all the time. That's not me beeping. But what's your? Do you have any answers to that kind of poll there, Eugene? Do you have dreams?
I do indeed. I dream every night, and some of them. I suppose when we dream, things that happen to us during the day can affect our dreams. Different things come into it, but I dream very vividly, and I actually had a dream there. Last year was I dream of a lot of people who have passed, but about a year and a half ago, I dreamt of a friend of mine who had died 2.5 years previous. I've only dreamt of him twice. Once was about 6 months after he died. He came to me in a dream to ask me, what was I okay? Everything okay with me? And I said it was. That's it. He vanished. And then about a year and a half ago, he came to me in a dream, and I was in. It was like a cafe or something like that. And I seen him at the far end of the cafe, but he kept waving at me, and I knew he was trying to tell me something, but he kept pointing to my left-hand side, and I was looking. It was just a set of doors that waiters go in and out, but he kept pointing. And as I stopped, just as I got to the doors, a waiter came flying out with the trolley. And that was on a Wednesday morning when I had that dream. And on my way to work on the Friday morning, I came to a T-junction, and I just looked to my left, which was lucky that I did, because I seen a car driving too fast, and I tried to get away, and he actually came through the junction and hit my car on the side. But I was very lucky. But I think the dream I had 2 days earlier had given me that kind of sense something was coming. But I do believe that dreams are a way to tell us of things that are going to happen in the future. I think on a vibration level, I think sometimes we leave our bodies and where we pick up information as we've left our bodies in our sleep. Some people can actually do it. It's never happened to me, but I think while we're traveling away from our bodies, I think we're picking up information vibrating from other, I suppose, other dimensions. And yeah, I do believe that dreams can tell us a lot
in terms of
the future.
astral traveling. So terms like astral travel. It's interesting what you said there, because there was 1960s. There was a study taken out by the Maimonides Dream Laboratory, and they used a scientific tasks to be done drawing people in rapid eye movement. This is a period when you're just about to go into sleep there, while you're just awakening from a sleep, or you're in a dream state there. And they found that 7 out of 15 cases were positive. So what they did was they had a person, a sender, a messenger, and they were in a separate room, and they were at a selection of print arts to select, and they would transfer their thought to the receiver when they were sleeping. And so they woke the person up during REM, and they found out 17 out of 15 cases were positive. So it's like a type of telepathy in dream states. So when people say I've seen people through thoughts or dreams and all that, now loved ones as well, is it them communicating with us from the other side using telepathy, you know? But also there, I suppose as well, there's they found out then, I'll just show these results then again, I'll just show it again there, folks. But they found out then as well with the sleep state there, the chemical acetylcholine chemical goes to the wakefulness levels, puts the cortex of the brain into a aroused state. So this chemical goes up, and I think it's noradrenaline. I think I might have said that right. Noradrenaline is another chemical, and they're both the same. But when the other one goes up, the acetylcholine, I think it is, teline. So when that goes up there, it goes and activates the brain, the cortex there, and that's when we see the dreams there. So it's interesting. They used it in dream laboratories to see people can telepathy, was using side tasks, trying to transfer pictures to people when they're sleeping. And I suppose it coincides with the next subject we're going to talk about now, which is visitations. So visitations there, I suppose we're talking about spiritual side of it there, Eugene. Can you tell us, have you ever been visited by anyone at home? Any spirits?
I have, as I said, my friend, and only once by my grandmother. I was very close to my grandmother, and it was a long time ago now, maybe 20 years ago. I suppose going through a bit of a rough time, and during the dream, I appeared back in my grandmother's home. How I got there, I don't know. Just appeared in the hallway, and as I entered into the sitting room in my grandmother's home, the sofa would have been, as you open the door to the right, the sofa would be behind the door. So whoever was sitting on the door, you wouldn't actually, or on the sofa, you wouldn't see them till you actually went through the door. So as I opened the door, my mother was facing me, and an aunt of mine that has passed, and my grandfather, who would have passed by then as well, they were all sitting. And as I walked in the door, my mother put her hand to her finger to her lips, as in a shush moment. And I gave them a funny look, and I went, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Don't speak to her." I didn't know what you were saying. As I walked in the door, my grandmother was sitting on the sofa, and I was just astonished that she was there. But all she said to me was, "Are you out?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she says, "Well, I just came back to make sure you're all right here." And then I woke up in the bed, and I felt I had the not serious things, just moving home, issues of, the stress of it, everyday life, I suppose. And I was fine after that. It gave me a huge boost to see her. And that's the only time I've actually dreamt of her, but I honestly believe she was there. And then I lived in a house in Wexford.
Have you seen him
for a few years?
Have you seen it visitations, as in through your eyes? Have you seen it through your own sense of vision?
I've seen,
as in
I've seen
investigation.
shadows. Investigations I've seen, I suppose, phenomenon I can't explain. All of a sudden, black masses in the shape of a person appeared in front of me, and then all of a sudden, then it just disappears. But I knew myself that it was a person. I lived in Wexford, and it was the same thing. We lived in a house there, and it was an old house, an old upstairs two-story cottage with a modern day extension built onto it. But in the old part of the house, we always felt like there was an old man. That's the feeling we got. I never seen him. I did see a shadow a couple of times in the hall, and I followed it because I thought it was someone, but it disappeared. But Val actually seen him one day. We were painting the house, and as she walked by the window, she said the old man was standing in the window. He just looked at her, smiled. He was wearing a flat cap or a grandfather shirt. She was able to say exactly what he looked like. So, yeah, I suppose it's how you're feeling at the time. I think if you're feeling good about yourself, you can be open to picking up vibrations from other people or other realms, maybe, if that's the word you want to call it. Yeah.
Mm. And do you believe, like, I suppose, like crisis manifestations, which is probably spirits that interact with you to forewarn of a future event which you don't know is occurring, and intelligent beings that are just giving information? Is the reason why they can come in? Is it, do they know? Do you reckon there's a way of them knowing what's happening in the future?
Yeah, I think what they do, I think...
That's a tough question.
How can I explain it? I don't think... Yeah, exactly. I don't think our loved ones are around us all the time. I know people say, oh, they're always with us, but I don't think that actually always with us. I think when crisis or an issue in our life comes up, we send out a vibration, and wherever they are at the time, I think they pick up on it, and then they come to you. I don't think, obviously, if I go to the toilet, my grandmother's not going to be in the toilet with me, or if I'm having a shower. If that makes sense. But I just think that people can go through tough times in their lives. As I said, we vibrate on a different level when we're under stress or we're having problems. And I think them vibrations we send out go to our loved one, and that's when the loved one appears, and people talk about feathers, talk about robins appear, Ginny Joe blown into the window of the house, stuff like that. And I think that comforts people.
Yeah, you're true. I was going to actually mention that in the question there about psychological and physiological disturbances or reports, like stuff appearing when it's, or like a piece of jewelry just appearing in a drawer, or you think it's gone missing there, or the clock stopping as well. I suppose they're terms of what comment, or smells as well, fragrances or scents, or bad odors as well. People can get that as well, especially off me today. Come back to the loved ones there, and I'll notice that. Just go to a few call outs there. We'll come back to those. We've got more questions for you to that topic there. Holly says, so you can pick someone else. Well, what I'll do, Holly, there, I'm going to put you and the next person on, which was Kathy Houston from Soul to Soul Paranormal. You can go in the draw there. You have a chance there. You have to pick out a location soon. Lisanna Maria says, astral projecting, I do this, and dreams are premonitions depending on the type of dream. I agree with you, Eugene. Yeah, so people can see, you can yourself as well. It doesn't have to be a loved one coming back as well. People have dreams, premonitions, precognitions of what's happening in the future. Stacey says, I believe we get visits and dreams. I don't remember all my dreams, and I've only managed to astral travel once. Like what I discovered there is with dreams, if you want to stop having nightmares as well. Waking up in the night as well is to have chocolate, I suppose, and fruit. That's what I've heard. It's apparently supposed to be good for you. Stacey says, me too. Lisanna Maria says, I have many visits, Stacey. Kathy's Houston says they visit in times of need. Now, I know there's people like anniversary ghosts and crisis manifestations. I don't know if there's a type of, because anniversary ghost goes into so many different subjects like intelligent, residual, and crisis manifestations. But I suppose with crisis manifestations is to forewarn, or it could be a good thing that's happening as well. It could be if you're pregnant, or say, or a good emotional time as well. That's when crisis manifestations can come in as well.
Yeah.
No, I asked them to stay out of my toilets, bathrooms, and bedrooms, as we need some privacy. I just mentioned sexual relations earlier on, and I think we spoke. So if you keep on mentioning the naughty feel out of weird, we get more people watching the show. Mary Kate Barry says, years it is a comfort, robins or feathers. Also, cigar smell around me, totally random when no one physically there. What do you think to that, Eugene?
No, I honestly believe in that. I know a young lad, he's about 30, and his younger sister died when she was about 14. But he told me that some days when he's not feeling good or he's had a bad day, he walks into his house, and his little sister always wore one of these kiddie perfumes. And he says sometimes when he comes into the house after a bad day in work, maybe, or something didn't go right, as soon as he walks into the house, he gets the smell of our perfume straight away and makes him feel good about himself. And it's what outside the door just passes away from him then, and he's just happy to be home. And then he thinks of his sister and all the good times they had. So yeah, I do believe in smells and random, as Mary Kate Berry says there, random smells or random robins, feathers, anything.
Yeah, it can be times like that we do, like, even, you know, that a loved one is close there, or just to reassure us. Oh, it takes you back to a time there when we had a brilliant time. Like, I was just traveling. We went up to County Clare yesterday on the ferry, and we had the windows blasted open. We had the windows wide open, but the smell of slurry coming in was just, it was beautiful, because I remembered of summers of long ago there. But the smells and hearing music as well, listening to old songs and all that, can have a moment of deja vu or bring you back to a time when it's amazing in your life there. I suppose it's just how the brain reacts to it scientifically, you know. And then people would say then, like, it could be to do with air conditioning and the house you smell these smells, or, you know, the heating's on or something, or the air, where the air is coming into the house there, that you get these smells. But when it's truly unusual, then it's very incredible. Katie said, Kathy says, thank you, Holly. No worries, you're both going to the quiz there in a second. Now, what I'm going to, just go and carry on and talk about visitations a bit more. Then people stay tuned, because we're going to show a bit of footage from Leb Castle as well, which Afterlife Paranormal Ireland did on an investigation, some footage. So are people that are more prone, that believe in the afterlife, are they prone more to have visitations? Experience them?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think visitations can come to everybody. It just, some people are just more open, and I suppose this will go into the next part of the show on how people react to paranormal investigators. But I think the more you open yourself up, and the more that you believe that these supernatural or paranormal events that can happen, if you open yourself up to the spirit world, you can receive more messages. There's no doubt. I just think some people are just more open than others.
And do you reckon, like, loved ones, spirits, or, you know, it could be loved ones or people generally associated with the location, when they come and visit a place, are they shocked by the way we're living now these days, by the way the technology or or our language, or the way we just look.
Yeah.
You know, like I used to be a would you believe it?
Yeah, I suppose if you think about it, if you go back to whatever the 1700s or 1,000 years ago, there was no cars, there was no, like, even for people today, my grandmother's not alive, but I'm sure other people's grandmother, they look at kids with mobile phones, people give their kids computers when they're 7, 8, and like, even for me, like, I do often say to nephews and that, we only had a phone up the top of the road and you had to go up and queue up. When we were kids, you were gone for the day. Nobody knew we were there. You were, your mother would be at the door shouting. So I suppose, yeah, they would. Of course they would. They'd be looking, like, say, for me, for instance, if I had been born in maybe the 50s, when I got to the 70s, I'd still have long hair. I just find that meant, you look at the old 70s shows, everyone has long hair. Where's all the hair gone? But no, I think they do. I mean, what had they got? What had they got then? Horse carts, wax for the light, and now we have everything now. So yeah, I'm sure that they do look at cars. The technology that we do have, even for me, it amazes me. So if it amazes me, it'll definitely amaze a spirit from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, so we're just going to go on to, oh no, God, it must be shocking to them there. We're going to go on to a bit of footage from Leb Castle. So Eugene's going to just explain now. I'm going to show the footage first there, and here it comes. So this is from Leb Castle there. So we're just going to, it's about 10 seconds long there, and then I'm just going to ask Eugene there see what you can see there, folks, there, or sense there. See what you can sense there or see. I'm just going to play that again. So Eugene, can you tell us where was that, and what was what you got there? First of all, yeah. Where was it?
Yeah, that was in.
Okay. Seem to have lost Eugene. There's sound there. Sorry there, Eugene there. But I'll just put back there just 1 second. I just seem to have lost you with the sound there, Eugene there. I'm just going to play the next video there, and just to see if we can get Eugene back on again. Just 1 second there. This is the next video. This is from Leb Castle as well, folks, and see what you can see here there. I'm just going to show this. So this is from Leb Castle as well. So if you see anything or sense anything. Okay, I'm just going to play it again. Okay, so Eugene, can you hear me now? Okay, I seem to have lost the sound with Eugene there. So if you can just log back in and log back out of there, Eugene, if you can hear me, just put your fingers up like that. Okay, just log back in and come back in again. Log back out and come back in again, because I've seemed to have lost the sound there. I'm just going to carry on there. So I'm just going to go with, I suppose, with the quiz, folks, at the moment, while I'm just waiting for Eugene to come back in. So we had What's the word for that there? Sorry now, folks, technically there. If you have any questions, feel free to put forward to us there. You can go to our contact page, fill in the blanks, www.ghostére.net. If you have a private message, just put in brackets private message. We'll also come to any questions you have. We can also answer them on the next show there as well. So we had a quiz there, folks, there, and there's a choice of 6 places to choose from. There's the windmill, the cave, the well. Also, we have the office, mortuary, and fairy fort. So I need you there, Kathy Houston, and Holly Doran, to select one of those 6 places. If you can select one of those 6 places, just type in either the windmill, cave, well, office, mortuary, or fairy fort. So I'll be one of the first ones. I'm just going to see if Eugene's coming back in there. I should be able to there. Can you hear me, Eugene?
I can hear you, Anthony. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, grand. Oh, perfect there. That's perfect there. So okay. I'm just waiting for the quiz. So Eugene, whilst you're there, I'm going to ask you there. You've got a choice between the windmill, cave, well, office, mortuary, or fairy fort. Can you select one of those locations?
Yeah, the cave.
Cave. Eugene's gone with the cave. Holly's gone for the cave as well. Holly's gone for the cave. And Kathy has just waiting for Kathy to answer there as well. So Kathy, when you're ready there, just a choice between the windmill, cave, well, office, mortuary, and fairy fort. Your chance to go into a Halloween mega draw or mini draw. Okay, so we're just going back to the oh shit, sorry now. So Eugene, if you're there, sorry, I think I've just deleted you there. Sorry. If you can come in, let's all go in, man. If you can just come in and connect linking back in. I've just pressed the wrong frigging button there, haven't I? There, like, you know. All right, so if you can just press the link back in again. Okay. Yeah, Kathy's put the office perfect there. Kathy's picked it off, so we'll reveal the results in a second. So if you're there, Eugene, sorry, it's all going mayhem there at the moment there. If you can come in there again, or go on to the next subject we're going to be talking about is people's perceptions of paranormal investigators. So we'll be talking about that in a second. So this footage is from Lead Castle, and I'm just going to show you it again. I was waiting for Eugene to come in. I'll just get Eugene in first, and he's coming in now. Should have Eugene up. Hey Eugene, can you hear me? So Joanne says there's a very clear orb to the right. That's what she saw on the picture there, on the video footage of Lead Castle. Bridget Burke also says saw orbs and thought I saw a black figure. I don't know if I can't hear you there, Eugene. Maybe if you just try logging in again, just want see it should work again now in a second. Kathy says great source of light energy there in the video seems to be observing them. So Kathy thinks that there's people observing the people inside the room. I think that's the Minstrel Gallery or the Bagwitton Hall in Lead Castle. So we'll come to what Eugene was getting through those in there. Joanne Breen says, regarding visitations, miscarried in 1997. My father passed in 1999. 2 days after his burial, I saw him and a little girl holding hands. He smiled, they turned and slowly walked away. His way, I suppose, to let me know all was well. Well, that's nice there, Joanne. There, it's nice when you get those times of comfort then as well, and they do. It's unusual when, well, it is kind of peculiar when loved ones come in and they like visit you in the dreams, and they might not say a message or they might not say anything, but it's just their facial when you see their face, that you begin to see stuff there, that you begin to they come at an emotional time, and there is a reassurance there. We're still trying to get Eugene back on there, so if you just bear with us there for a second. So folks, yeah, what I'm going to do is go and talk about what we got on the show next week. There, what we have here, we come right there. Might not have to do that. I'll just give Eugene a second. What we have coming up next week, next week's show is we have Jonathan Downs from the Centre of 14 Zoology coming on, and Jonathan is going to be talking about the Alman of Malnan Smith, chupacabras, chupacabras, the devil dogs, and also UFOs. So stay tuned for that. That'll be on the next show in a couple of weeks there. And I think we got the man himself back again there. All right, Eugene. How you doing, bro? Oh, all good, all good. We work it out there. So I'm just going to just quickly go through that. Joanne from Seekers of the Afterlife says, regarding visitations, miscarried in 1997. My father passed in 1999. 2 days after his burial, I saw him and a little girl holding hands. He smiled, they turned and slowly walked away. His way, I suppose, to let me know all was well. And I suppose it's to do with the miscarriage there. That was probably that these, even through stillbirth or miscarriages, that these energies live on as well, And do you agree with that there, Eugene?
I do indeed, I do, and I'm sure that was very comforting as well.
Yeah, it's
that. But there's always someone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Eugene. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sure there's always something comforting in seeing past relatives, and in that case, that was very comforting, and it must have been a lovely feeling to know that your relatives are together in the afterlife. That's what it's all about.
So we're just going to show that footage again there. This is from so it was Lead Castle, was it? I was correct there, Eugene?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to show this again. Actually, I'm not going to show it because that's probably why I had the technical default. Okay, so can you, I think that's maybe one of the reasons. But can you tell us there, so what was happening in that room?
We just set up the cameras, and we had made everything ready for a seance we were going to have later on in the evening. And what I like to do is I like to set up the cameras, and I bring a small 20-inch television with me. And then if it's the public that's with us, I always like to. We have 4 cameras, so I like to say to the public, I give them a sheet of paper and it has cam 1, 2, 3, 4, and I give them, say, half an hour each. But sometimes when someone gets on it, they don't want to get off because they get glued to watching it. And every time they see something, I tell them to note the time on the camera. So if they see an orb, say 12:10, they write 12:10. If they see something else at 12:15, they write it down. And it just means that if I've 8 or 9 hours of coverage, I don't have to sit for hours, 9 hours watching. Where if I have it written down, somebody says something, I can just go straight there. I think it's a bit lazy, but and that's what it is. Like to catch that piece of footage, like I could have been sitting there for 3 hours waiting for that. So and you know what? People love it. They love to sit and stare at the screen. Yeah, and it's always good. I love to watch people's reactions to stuff that we're doing on the night. Like I'll always say at the start of an investigation that whatever happens here tonight happens. We're not here to fool anyone. We've no prop set up, and that's it. And as I say to them, whatever happens for them on the night is actually happening for us. because when we go into an investigation, we're going in with a blank page, and whatever comes up, comes up. I just while I'm there, can I just give a quick shout out to Sharon Moan and our team Paravent, that we've had the pleasure of being invited on loads of their investigations: Cumber House, Limavady Workhouse, the Military Museum, to name but a few. And also, I'd just like to give a shout out to Kate Houston, who has been on every investigation that I've been with in Paravent, and she is really good at what she does. And she gave me a reading one night, and she absolutely got that smack on the button. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I couldn't believe it. What she told me would actually happen. So I'd just like to say hello to them people, and they're great people to work with.
So Eugene, that's to Paravent, and as well to Katie Houston as well there.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm just going to say that I was going to come to there, like, oh yeah. So you're coming to the terms of being what do you call it, a phenomenological power psychologist. So you review their experiences of people and see what they're feeling there. You take a step back, analyze what they're saying or feeling. So we're going to move on to another subject there, which is going to be people's perceptions of paranormal investigators there. So Eugene, what's your family's thoughts on the stuff you do there, especially your daughter?
Well, my daughter thinks I'm crazy. She thinks that our mother and father are crazy. We brought her to Leith Castle with us one night, and she enjoyed it, but she doesn't believe in it. She's actually a humanist, so she's actually somebody who believes that when we die, that's it, we're gone, just dust and never to be seen again. But as I said, myself, I believe that. But and the rest of my family are they're all in tune with the supernatural and paranormal. And I have a family team as well. We haven't been together for a while due to obviously COVID and schedules with work and all. We always find it hard to get together, but when we do work together, we're Paranormal Investigators Ireland. And so just give a shout out to my nephews, Darren, Alex, and my sister Nicola, and Kerry, who's a cousin of Darren and Alex. So they're the team members. But sure, when we can get together, that's what we do. But obviously, with work commitments and then COVID came in, sure, we can't get together. But outside of the family, friends and work, some I don't actually even mention it because I know they think I'm crazy. There's other people that I speak to and they want to sit down and speak to me for hours, tell me everything, and I'll sit and listen to everybody. I love listening to people, their stories, what they believe, what they don't believe. There's always lovely stories that you hear from people about things they've seen. And one of my favourite kind of questions is when they say to me, what does a ghost look like? And when I tell them that I actually haven't seen one, and that is actually what I'm up to, and that is my dream. That I actually said it in Leith Castle. A girl actually asked me that question, have you ever seen a ghost? I said no, and I was going up to the bloody chapel to collect one of the cameras, and she said to me, you're not going up there on your own, are you? And I said, yeah, I do it all the time. Wrap up the camera, and she says, what would you do if you seen a ghost? I said, if I was going up them steps and I seen a ghost, I think I would hug it.
Yeah.
You know, but the word ghost hunter, I'm not mad into that word. You know, I suppose to the public, that's their perception of people that work in the paranormal field are, oh, these are all ghost hunters that run in graveyards at night in the dark. And when I explain to them that spirits don't just appear in the dark, like you could be in the graveyard visiting a grave or walking through some old building in the daytime, and something could manifest in front of you. And I explained to them that the only reason it's done at night is it's quieter. It's quieter, and the darkness with the cameras just gives you the ability to pick up on anything that may be happening. But like ghost hunting doesn't just happen at night time, as we know.
Have you like a family?
And then there is people that.
Have you ever since you've done it there, has there been people that have gone away from you, like, or have they've sort of less involved in your life as family members? I know I have.
No, not really. No. No, we wouldn't. More than anything, I'd say there's probably one or two that'd give you the funny look. I'd say something like, oh, here's your man again. And start talking about ghosts and running around haunted castles. No, I wouldn't say. I'd say it's more your family seem to, well, my family anyway, they're all very in tune with spirit and, past relatives, and they're very open. But I'd say it's more like co-workers that would be very skeptical. And as I said, I know some of them, when I'd say, oh, I'm heading down to Lee Castle that we were with in Cavan, why would you know that night? But it's just, I'm always, and someday we might get the answers there, but more than likely, I'll have to probably go through my 7 lives to find out what the answers are.
And do you think people's perceptions of paranormal investigating, it's kind of been, it's like it's ghost hunting to some people there, because it's I know we mentioned the word ghost hunting there, but people would refer to it as ghost hunting, and it's kind of trendy to be a ghost hunter these days, especially with TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram there. Do you think people's perceptions of paranormal investigation is actually good now, better compared to years ago?
I'd say it's better now. Yeah, I think with I suppose with science as well, you have I suppose like spirit boxes and SLX sticks and stuff like that. And there's more equipment for us to use. So I suppose it's not like people think to me like it's all most haunted. We're all running around the dark, cameras looking up the ceiling and looking down at the floor. I'm saying to you, did you hear that? Oh, that's very scary. Let's all run. So,
true, yeah.
No, I think it's more
Go ahead.
acceptable today, but still people would still. No, I said, but it's not really. I suppose it varies. It's up to the people that you speak to, whether they're open to it or whether they're willing to, I suppose, give it even a second thought that maybe there is something else. Or like, as I said, like with spirits, I think you have to be open to it. You have to be willing to give it a chance. And we say that actually on investigation nights, that we want people to be open up themselves, ask a question, no matter how stupid they think it is. But he thinks, oh, I'm not going to say that, this is going to sound stupid. And they ask the question eventually, and that's the question that you might get that noise, you might get that sound on a spirit box, or you might get some sort of a manifestation in a corner. So yeah, it's up to people to have themselves open. You have to be open.
Mm. And Kathy says, thank you, Eugene. You're amazing too. Also, you have great knowledge and wisdom there.
Thank you,
Nikki
Kathy.
says, we'll be together. We'll be together again. Miss you. Hi, Nikki. And Kathy says, spirits are there 24/7. You know, I can see them right behind me there as well. I know, I'm not joking. I'm not messing with you. No, I agree with you then as well, Kathy. And Kate says, I've seen more in the day. Yeah, a day, you know, day and night there. You know, spirits, they can come in. It depends. It depends. They don't have to be seen. They can be heard. They can be in your conscious mind as well, or other senses there, you know, time, balance, anything, you know, touch as well. Anything physically, they can come in there, physiologically and psychologically. So we'll just come to the quiz part now there. So Eugene and Holly, you both picked the cave. Kathy, you picked the office. So we're going to see how it goes there. Let's see if any of you are right and going into the Halloween draw or mini draw. So the choice of the windmill, cave, well, office, mortuary and fairy fort. And no luck for the cave, mortuary or windmill. In the mini draw for the fairy fort, which means the Halloween mega draw you got in there with the office there, Kathy, and that's, you're in the Halloween mega draw there, Kathy. So congratulations there to you there, Kathy. You're in the Halloween mega draw. I'm sorry there, Eugene there, but you got another chance, and Holly there next week there if you want to tune in. It's up to yourselves.
Well done, Kathy.
Well done, Kathy there. You're in the Halloween mega draw. Okay. Sorry now, technical issues. I think it's could be the heat. I'm so roasted in the bedroom there.
Not again.
I'm roasted. We're all getting hot and bothered. But yeah, so Eugene, is there anything else you'd like to say? How can people catch up with you or see what you're doing?
Yeah, if at the moment we're not doing too much due to obviously the COVID restrictions. So myself and Val are just out bopping around visiting graveyards. And there a couple of weeks ago we were in Ardmore and Waterford, and we just happened to be, we walked a few miles along different beaches, and I stuck up some photographs there. Old stud, it would have been an old stud farm, one of the locals told me, just fell into rack and ruins. It was behind barbed wire. So we, to be better, I suppose, I said to Val, we're going to have a look around here. So I climbed over, it was overgrown. I actually was on my own going through it. Looked at fabric. I tried to imagine what places looked like, should I say, before they became the rack and ruins, and I could see myself walking down the centre. I obviously was a mansion at one stage with rooms off to either side, and I just imagine, you know, rich people smoking cigars, selling horses there, and yeah, just down at the moment. But if people just keep their eye on the page, we got something coming up, and if we're going to do a public, which at the moment we're not doing anything like that, as I said, due to COVID, but we will be out and about, meeting up with some other people. And just give myself a little plug that I've actually written a small book, but it's just at the moment it's been spell checked and just edited. But it's just it's a book of short stories, and it's really about visitations that people have. You know, it's people that of loved ones they've seen, or things that have happened to them. So I've actually got their stories from them, but I've written them in my own words. And yeah, so I'm hoping to have that book out in paperback in probably 2 months' time, maybe. But it'll be on the page when it comes up anyway. I'll get it sorted. So, yeah.
So that's Eugene has been publishing a book in a couple of months' time. So,
be a bestseller.
So keep an eye on it. It's Afterlife Paranormal Ireland. Is that correct? The page, is it Facebook page?
It is, yeah. It is, that's it.
Oh.
It is a Facebook page, and we have a group page as well.
Okay.
So I just like to thank all the people who follow us there and get around to as many places in the future as we can. And just as I said there, just a special mention to Emma Louise Tully, and her team, Paraven. Can't remember all the names, so I'll just shout out a few there: Eddie, Fra, Harry, and Anthony, and Katie using there, and hopefully we'll see us all soon.
No worries. And it's great having you on there, Eugene, and it's great to have Afterlife Paranormal Ireland, and it's great to see you there, and it's great to see the face behind the page there, and as hopefully we'll hook up again soon then as well. And I just got a few more shout outs there. Lisanna Maria says see them 24/7. That's to do with spirits. And Kathy, I think, says happy days there. So as I was saying there, folks, in another couple of weeks' time, we will have Jonathan Downs from the Centre of 14 Zoology on the show. He's going to be talking about the Owlman of Morning Smith, which is interested in a particular area in Cornwall where the Owlman was supposed to be there. And chupacabras as well, the devil dogs, El Chupacabra. And also UFOs, we're talking about those as well. If you have any questions, do send them to us there on our website, www.ghostarea.net there. Katie says, great interview. Oh, thank you. It's only great there because I had somebody to interview there, and that was Eugene. I really appreciate it, Eugene. Really appreciate it. Love to everyone. And thanks to everyone there who commented there and chatted. Any last requests there, Eugene?
No, I just want to thank you very much for asking me on the show. And as I said to you when you contacted me before I said, why are you picking somebody like me and only an amateur? Especially when I look at some of the people there I've mentioned and what they do. Like, I try to kind of live up to what they do. That we put in our fair share of the work. And that's it. I just want to thank you very much for having me on and giving me the chance to say or express how I feel about Afterlife and Visitations.
No worries, Eugene. It's great to have you on. But you're there. We're all the same there in this life there, and hopefully in the next 6 lives I've got. Hopefully it's not 50. I'm joking. That means I'm very naughty. Well, thank you everyone that participated and everyone that included there. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks.
I'm sure you're not.
Enjoy the hot weather. I won't see you next time. I'll see you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye for now, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.